Good morning, everyone.
Thank you for your attention.
Hello, everyone.
So, hello everyone. I will talk about the environmental impact of the clothing industry to strengthen the role of the European Union. So, here is a scheme to show you all the steps that exist to make simple t-shirts. So, as you can see, there are a lot of steps. Each of these steps can be made in different countries. Because of the fast fashion model, brands are trying to put the lowest price, so they're trying to have the cheapest workforce and the environmental protection as low and as possible or in existence. So all of this stuff can be made in different countries, as I said. If we take the production of cotton, it can be other fibers, but here I took the cotton example. It uses 25% of the world consumption of pesticide and 10% of the fertilizers. 80% of the production is made in 6 countries, basically India, China, USA, Brazil, Pakistan and Australia. So if your t-shirt is made with cotton in Bangladesh, for example, you can be sure that at least your t-shirt has traveled from one of those countries to Bangladesh and then to Europe. Or spinning and weaving, I won't take time in these steps. Then there's the making of the product. This is more a social issue than an environmental impact, so I won't talk about it here. The use of really polluting dyes with several toxic heavy metals. Here is an example of a river pollution in the Philippines. 70% of the China River are polluted by the textile industry. Then there's washing, labeling, transportation. Here's also a big issue because it's mainly transported by cargo ships. In overall, it emits 1,000 million tons CO2 annually, but this is not only for the textile transportation, it's all the goods. But it's to give an idea, and it represents 2.5% of the global GHG emissions. Also, this is, you have to know that the transportation goes also between every steps of the production, not only from the production country to Europe. Packaging, retail stores, marketing campaigns, and then it reaches the consumers. Here is a big issue also because there's, as you know, overconsumption of clothes. In Europe in 2015, European citizens bought for more than 6 million tons of clothes in 1 year. A lot of these are in the residual waste. Another idea is that 7 Italy citizens bought 7 kilogram clothes per person per year. The carbon footprint in 2015 was a little bit less than 200 million CO2 equivalents. A big part of the pollution is at the consumer level. More than 1/3 of the carbon footprint is during the use, basically the washing, the machine drying, and the ironing. So, as for the policy framework, there's a fashion industry charter of climate action that has been signed in 2015 during the COP24. The goal, it engaged 40 organizations to reduce their greenhouse gas emission by 30%, but 10 years ago there was the same treaty and nothing has been done. So, in the EU there's a regulation about the imports. They impose some quotas with some countries, but there's also a lot of bilateral agreements. There's also rules about the composition of the textile that has to be mentioned on the labels. There's an interesting initiative that ends in March 2019. This is the European Clothing Action Plan. They did a really interesting report that gives a lot of interesting recommendations. They worked with 9 countries, European countries. I wanted to talk about the Environmental Action Plan program because I didn't see any word about the textile industry in this program, and also the European Union Action Plan for Circular Economy. Also, I didn't see any action about the clothing industry. So my recommendation would be to integrate textile into the next European Union Action Plan for Circular Economy and in the Environmental Action Plan program. This can be with some action. For example, raise consumers' awareness, for example, with maybe a carbon footprint on labels, encourage sustainable models of brands, eco-design of the raw material, etc., improve the collection system and recycling in Europe, and there are other really interesting recommendations in the report of the ECAP projects. I would suggest also to monitor waste along the supply chain of brands, ask for more transparency, and to review the bilateral agreement, maybe to discuss about a carbon tax to imports. Here are my references. Thank you for your attention.